Friday, October 31st, 2025. Happy Halloween. Um, what are you going dressed as this year? I'm not doing a costume, but I did recently purchase a red t-shirt, and I thought if I did get invited to some sort of gathering, I would wear just that with no pants and be Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, maybe next year. Uh, so I didn't get to watch The View, and Fridays are annoying because they're recorded, so they might not necessarily be up to date. So I don't know what the ladies talked about. I do know that they didn't dress up because they couldn't talk about well, at least it was reported that they weren't going to dress up because they couldn't talk about the Middle East, dressed as Little Orphan Annie or something. I don't remember what the quote was, but anyway, so I don't know what their hot topics were, but there was a couple things that have gone on this week that we haven't been able to mention, and I just thought let's just have a brief chat here before the holiday weekend commences. And the first one is that while he was in Asia, the giant orange toddler kept bloviating about bringing back nuclear testing, which we haven't done in decades. Which doesn't give me the warm and fuzzy feelings that, a man so triggered by a TV commercial or a social media post has access to the nuclear codes. And there doesn't seem to be anybody stopping him from doing anything. So that's terrifying. But he just tore down the building that sits on top of the bunker at the White House. So is that part of the whole plan? Is he expanding that bunker? Is he doing something is he trying to make that bigger so he can bring more of his Mar-a-Lago friends in and then make things go kaplooey and they'll all be okay? I don't really understand what the end game of that is. If you don't want to, I mean, if you're destroying mankind, who's going to pick up your trash? Because he's not going to do it. He can't take care of himself. Um, and if you only save the elites, they're useless. So I just find that whole timing of that really suspicious and weird. And there's been all these stories that he wanted to tear it down overnight, and he clearly knew what he was doing was wrong, and he wanted to do it in secret. Um, and if he is going to fuck around or expand on that bunker or whatever, he's so cheap. Like, I think he'll fuck it up, which means it probably won't be, sealed properly. Do you remember that episode of 24 when there was the poison gas leak, and what was his name? Louis didn't make it into the secure conference room, and it was glass, and they all just watched him die. It was so sad. Um, but that could be the situation in reverse, except it wouldn't be so sad. Anyway, so I find that the timing of all that really weird. And then, ever since Charlie Kirk died, our vice president has been running his podcast. And I don't know, I find it really strange that the vice president of the United States has a podcast, and just spews all sorts of garbage, and is oddly tight with his widow, who doesn't seem all that upset that her husband died. Recently, there's this picture that's going around of them on stage. I don't know where they are, but she's in black leather or pleather. I don't know. Who can say? She's got enough money to buy real leather pants, but they don't look like real leather pants. They look a little stretchy. And and which is the standard, widow garb, tight leather pants. And she is hugging him with her hands, laced through his hair. And he's right up in there, and his arms are wrapped right around her. And it's an embrace that's it's more than friendly. and it feels a little creepy. So, like, is that are we at that point now in the story, um, where the creepy couch fucker leaves his foreign-born wife for the widow of his racist friend? It's weird, um, and creepy, but everything about this administration is weird, creepy, and terrifying. So who knows? But I just thought for the end of the week, we just let's just throw out some conspiracy thoughts. We can ruminate on those over the weekend while we, sip our mulled wine and spiked ciders. Um, Happy hangover tomorrow.